In Galatians chapter 5, Paul contrasts the bondage of the law with the freedom of the Spirit. He warns against falling into legalism or abusing liberty, and he lays out the famous list of the works of the flesh versus the fruit of the Spirit. Let's walk through this chapter, verse by verse. Verse 1. Stand fast therefore in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Paul urges believers to stand firm in freedom. The law is a heavy yoke, but Christ broke those chains. Don't go back to slavery. Verse 2. Behold, I Paul say unto you, that if ye be circumcised, Christ shall profit you nothing. Paul warns that if you depend on circumcision for salvation, you forfeit Christ's benefit. Salvation cannot be earned. Verse 3. For I testify again to every man that is circumcised, that he is a debtor to do the whole law. If you take one part of the law as necessary for salvation, you're bound to keep all of it perfectly, which no one can. Verse 4. Christ is become of no effect unto you, whosoever of you are justified by the law. They are fallen from grace. To trust the law is to reject grace. Grace and law cannot mix as a basis for justification. Verse 5. For we through the Spirit wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. True righteousness is not earned, it is awaited by faith through the Spirit. Verse 6. For in Jesus Christ neither circumcision availeth anything, nor uncircumcision, but faith which worketh by love. External rituals mean nothing. What counts is faith expressed in love. Verse 7. That did run well. Who did hinder you that ye should not obey the truth? Paul uses the image of a race. The Galatians started well, but someone cut in on them with false teaching. Verse 8. This persuasion cometh not of him that calleth you. Legalism doesn't come from God, it comes from deceivers. Verse 9. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. Just a little false teaching can corrupt an entire church. Verse 10. Paul expresses confidence that they will return to the truth and that those troubling them will face judgment. Verse 11. Paul asks, if he still preached circumcision, why is he being persecuted? The offense of the cross lies in saying human effort cannot save. Verse 12. In sharp words, Paul says he wishes those agitators would cut themselves off completely. He's showing how dangerous legalism is. Verse 13. For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. Christian freedom is not license to sin, it's the power to serve in love. Verse 14. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this: Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. The entire moral law is summed up in love. Verse 15. But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. Without love, Christian communities turn into battlefields of strife. Verse 16. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and thou shalt not fulfill the lust of the flesh. The antidote to sin isn't law, it's walking in the Spirit. Verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. There's a constant inner conflict between our sinful nature and the Spirit. Verse 18. But if they be led of the Spirit, they are not under the law. Being Spirit-led frees us from the law's condemnation. Verses 19-21. Paul lists the works of the flesh: sexual immorality, idolatry, hatred, jealousy, strife, envy, drunkenness, and more. He warns that those who practice such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. Verses 22-23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such things there is no law. The Spirit produces Christ-like character naturally, like fruit from a tree. Verse 24. And they that are Christ as have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. Believers put their old sinful desires to death by identifying with Christ's cross. Verse 25. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Our conduct should match our identity. Spirit-filled people should live Spirit-filled lives. Verse 26. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another. Pride and rivalry destroy Christian unity. Instead of competing, believers are called to walk in humility and love. Galatians 5 makes it clear. We are called to freedom, but not freedom to sin, freedom to love. The flesh produces corruption, but the Spirit produces beautiful fruit. Walking in the Spirit is the only way to experience true liberty.